Hello my lovely bookish friends, and welcome back to another video, and welcome to this November wrap up. I'm slowing down in my reading. I always like to think that, when it gets to winter and the colder seasons, that I'll read more and I'll snuggle up because it's the perfect season just to snuggle up with a good book. However, I always get busy and I forget this every time, and so I've definitely read less this month. However, I have read some good books, so let us get to what I read.
First up, we have the 5th volume of the light novel series My Happy Marriage. This follows Mio, who is the unloved daughter of a noble family in a kind of fantasy 1930s Japan setting. In this world, there are people who have supernatural powers as well as these monsters that we're still kind of learning about. Anyway, Mio seemingly has no supernatural ability, and because of this, her family marry her off to this commander who has a very bad rep, and then things go from there. That's not the best description, but I don't really want to give stuff away. I absolutely love this series and I've mentioned it quite a few times already on my channel. And this is the latest volume and it was just as good as the rest, and I honestly cannot wait until the next volumes are released next year. Sticking with My Happy Marriage, I also read volume 3 and 4 of the manga version. This is literally the same story but in a different format. I love this manga style. There's something very beautiful about it, and I just feel so attached to these characters. I just love them and I will read whatever these characters are in. Sticking with manga, we have The Masterful Cat is Depressed Again. This series follows a masterful cat who is huge and does housework and takes care of his slightly useless human. I saw this manga just at my library at random and I just decided to give it a go, and it's just pure good vibes. It's not in any way serious, it's just fun. I read volumes 1 and also volume 3. They didn't have volume 2, but it sort of didn't matter because there are some overarching storylines, but you can sort of read them just out of order a little bit, so it was fine. And yeah, the cat is just so funny, and yeah, it was just really good fun vibes. I really enjoyed it.
This next book was also some fun vibes, and it was the Frugal Wizard's Handbook for Surviving Medieval England.
This is another one of Brandon Sanderson's standalones, and it was just really good fun. It follows this guy who wakes up with no memory of who he is, and he's just in the middle of a field in a version of medieval England, and that is it. That's all the synopsis you need going into it. This was a lot of fun. Brandon Sanderson has a great writing style. I have only recently started getting into his works. My first book of his I read was Tess of the Emerald Sea, which is another one of his standalones, and I really enjoyed that, and I really enjoyed his writing style in this one too. So I'm going to check out one more of his standalones, and then I'm going to try and see where to dive into with his series. If anyone has a recommendation of which series of his I should try first, please put them in the comments below, because I sort of don't know where I'm meant to start with his stuff. Anyway, yeah, it was really great fun, and I really liked the writing style, so yeah, I really enjoyed it. Finally, we have Welcome to the Hungnam-dong Bookshop. I may not be pronouncing that right. This is a Korean translated novel about this bookshop and about the people who work there and the people who visit it. It's just a lovely novel. It's kind of like, if you like Before the Coffee Gets Cold or Days at the Miyazaki Bookshop, those type of novels where there aren't loads of big plot points happening, but they have just really nice vibes, and it just feels very wholesome and just a comforting read. It's one of those books, and I just really enjoy that kind of genre.
So that was it for my November wrap up, and as I said at the beginning, it's definitely less than I've read in some other months. However, you know what, it was a fun time, especially the mangas. I feel like I'm probably going to end up reading more mangas over December when it gets busier, because it's just such a nice quick, easy read that just they're just enjoyable. I really like manga, and yeah, I'm also like glad that I got the other Sanderson book in there. I have to say I am a fan of his standalones. I really like Test of the Emerald Sea, and then this one was great, and I'm really intrigued to read. I don't think I'm going to get it read before the end of the year, but I really want to read the Yumi and the Nightmare Painter. I've heard it's sort of inspired by the film Your Name, which is one of my favourite movies of all time. So I'm very intrigued about that, and I love his writing style. I just thought it was fantastic. However, going into December, I do want to try and get some Christmassy books read. I want to try and read Little Women, maybe Lion the Witch in the Wardrobe. I normally always do Christmas Carol. It's such a short read that I always try to read Christmas Carol or listen to the audiobook when I'm wrapping presents. There's a really good version with Hugh Grant reading the audiobook, which I do recommend. So yes, that's my kind of like TBR for this December. Let's see actually how much I actually can get read. And yes, so that brings us to the end of this video. What did you read in November? What were your favourite books? And do you have any winter sort of Christmassy book recommendations? Because I really love reading for the season, and so if you've got any sort of Christmassy books that you recommend, stick them in the comments below because I'm on the lookout for some more Christmassy books. And so that is it. Until next time, my lovely bookish friends. Bye.